And welcome to episode 22 of the Wrestling Experience podcast. We're all about the experience here. And no, I'm just kidding. What are we, fucking idiots? I'm John Fisher alongside Brad Shepard for the Oh You Didn't Know Wrestling Show. We keep our name and you will like it. Yes, episode 22. I got to think of a quip. I was born on April 22nd, 22, and Brad has shit in 22 bags at the airport. Unfortunately, Johnny Gargano was in none of them. How about that? I thought that was okay. For on the spot.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Cool.
Anytime you fit Johnny Gargano into the opening line with something like, shitting in bags, that's totally fine with me.
Well, I know we'll get into it later, but he listens to the show. Johnny, if you're listening, I'm going to Disney World in July. Please let me know what you guys did so I can do the same. I'm a huge fan.
No, I'm sure you'll get as much attention as he did. So looking forward to talking about that one for sure.
Can I sidebar real quick? So before I do that, You Didn't Know Wrestling Show, Stitcher, iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud. Yeah, that sounds right. John Fisher TV on Twitter for me, the Brad Shepard for Twitter for this guy. I didn't realize. So off the air before we were on, we were talking about hockey. NHL playoffs are going on. Columbus won 7-3. Is that real?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
They've been a complete shocker in the first round of the Stanley Cup playoffs.
7-3.
Yeah.
Oh, good God. Okay, that puts a smile on my face. Anywho. Hey, the Hurricanes, your Carolina Hurricanes are doing pretty well, huh?
Yeah, I mean, they made the playoffs for the first time in forever. So
in 10 years.
Yeah, it's a step in the right direction.
Yeah. You know who hasn't made a step into the right direction?
Who's that?
World Wrestling Entertainment.
Oh.
I mean, we're a wrestling show. We had to get to it at some point. You know, this week was I turned it off. I turned it off. I finished. So tonight, Tuesday night, I didn't get to watch SmackDown. I had a personal thing come up that I could not miss, and I'm told that it's not a big deal. But Raw, I did turn off Raw like a third of the way through. Legitimately turned it off. Turned on hockey. Enjoyed myself. Turned on some basketball. Also enjoyed myself. And then I said, "Fuck it. Guess I'll finish Raw." Boy, did I!
Now, what did you find more entertaining, John? Real sports or fake sports?
No, to be completely blunt, a lot of times, like if the teams I root for are losing, yeah, sometimes I do enjoy wrestling more than football, basketball, hockey, baseball, whatever. But Monday night, absolutely not, 100%. The NBA playoffs, the Sixers were playing. They're very fun to watch, and I got to watch. It was like the very start of the Nashville-Dallas game. It was also a very fun matchup. So, real sports for Monday night for me.
Yeah, I can understand that. I mean, if given the choice, one is clearly more athletic and entertaining than the other.
Have you ever turned off Raw?
Oh, absolutely.
Like recently?
Yes, absolutely.
What?
And I've even watched the Hulu cut version of Raw as well.
Starting next week, I'm the Hulu cut guy from now on. I didn't want to miss any part of the shakeup because I'm a WWE draft guy, just traditionally, but the shakeup's whatever.
But how that wasn't even a draft. It's like,
no, it wasn't.
Oh, here comes EC3. Apparently, he's possibly going to be on Raw.
Yeah. It's like, is he on the show? Possibly, sure.
Is he? Could he be?
It didn't make any sense.
You're the fucking announcer. You tell me.
Michael Cole. If we're talking specifically the announcers, they are told what's going to happen previously, are they not? Or is it truly a secret to them?
To them, a lot of times they obviously do have some information. Now, You know, the superstars, that's a different story because they really, for the most part, were not told, except obviously a few top guys were told.
Yeah.
Roman Reigns obviously was told he would be going to SmackDown in advance. But outside of, some of the top guys, a lot of that was, the guys weren't told in advance.
Okay. So Michael Cole should maybe probably kind of sort of know. Why? Who is it back there that thinks we're all fucking idiots?
Probably everybody.
Seriously. Yeah, a lot of wrestling fans are stupid. No, not anyone that listens to this show, obviously. You're the intelligent folks.
Yeah. Obviously, we have the smartest fans.
But we're not stupid. We just aren't. And a lot of things happened because they think that we're stupid. And I don't know how long I can take it. I don't like to be talked down to and for people to think I'm an idiot because I know I'm not. It's just one of those things. So I'm sitting there and like, Michael Cole comes out and who was it? Even the fucking Miz. Is Miz on the show? Yes. Why is he here? Lars Sullivan, is he on Raw? Yes. Or maybe. I don't know. But that unpredictability doesn't make you clever. It makes you just fucking irrational.
Well, it's terrible storytelling because the whole point of the shakeup is to put people on TV shows, and when that's not clear, that actually is counterproductive. So I don't get it at all.
So I think there were like 5 key things that happened this week, and we're going to save the 2 best for last before we hit we have some breaking news this week for all of you. Can we just look at the Norse elephant in the room? And if that didn't tip you off, then I have 2 words for you.
Well, let's talk about it. I mean, I said that the Viking Experience should team up with Sarah Logan.
Yeah.
And then the Berserker, a returning Berserker. And then they should actually call themselves the 4 Norsemen.
That's great. That's great. Do it.
I'm going to put myself over right now. It's fucking fantastic.
Well, so let's get to the bottom of this. War Machine, who, and this is a yes or no question, you are a fan of. Are you not?
Yeah, I've been talking, as all of our listeners know, on this very show for weeks about how they should be on the main roster like yesterday, and they did it. Smart move.
Yes. They are big. They have a character. They are aggressive. They can perform a fake fight very well, and above all else, they're believable. I would not want to be in a back room with those 2, if we're talking, any part of realism. And they had a decent name. I mean, they were called War Machine in the indie scene. Fine name, great, cool, whatever. Sign me up. And then they changed their name to War Raiders. Like, okay, because they chant war and war. It's fun. It's great. They look the part. And then they debut as the Viking Experience, and all hell breaks loose on social media. Care to elaborate?
Yeah, I mean, the thing I would say is it worked. I mean, the name, sure, it's terrible, but at the end of the day, it worked because it was so bad that the name caught on and everybody was engaged talking about it, which is ultimately what matters. So I would say it actually worked. It was so bad it worked. So Vince McMahon is a genius. That's what I would say.
But that's not... Why does it have to be like that? Do we really have to get to the point where shit is so bad that it's funny? Like, that's only good for, like, every other Will Ferrell movie that I enjoy, where it's so dumb, yet it's entertaining as all heck. Why does... keep it out of my wrestling. I would like to be, challenged intellectually. Sometimes. Is that too much to ask?
I think you may be watching the wrong TV show, pal.
Maybe I am. Maybe I should get my plastic belt out of my suitcase, which is in my closet, which lights up and plays music, cue the old Booker T music, and dance in my living room. Maybe I should do that.
Well, that would make you more entertaining than Johnny Gargano.
So hold it. We're getting to that later. I for the Viking experience, listen, for Eric and Ibar, whatever the hell, stupid is what it is. Listen, a name is a name, and you can, even the Twin Towers way back in the day got over, and the name wasn't that good anyway. It was fine, and they, enlighten us. Like, can you think, in your vast knowledge of wrestling history? I mean, I know Dean's been watching since the 1300s, but we're not going to hear from him live, so I'll have to ask for a request for next week. Do you know any really shitty names that have actually gotten over before? Just like ease the minds of everyone at home.
I guess, yeah. I can't think of any offhand, but I'm sure there were some. I mean, yeah. I mean, but it's not going to help.
No. This is Vince McMahon written all over it, doesn't it? Has to be.
Yeah, I mean, do you want War in the name of a team coming on the main roster? War, the taboo name of War, enchanting War.
Undertaker crucified somebody. That argument can never work.
Yeah, but that could never be proven in court.
Yes, because it was never a cross.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
it
was
my point.
Yeah, I mean, if that's real, I'm looking at a picture of Cedric Alexander on Twitter. Thank you, Cedric, is the hashtag.
Thank you for what? Helping me fall asleep? I mean, I was thinking about it. I'm like, oh God, not this guy. Like he's on Raw. And I think, you know what? It doesn't matter. He's not going to be booked on Raw. It doesn't matter. He's never going to be in the damn show anyway.
No, and we can definitely jump into the next bit, and that's so Luke Harper. You talk about talent not being on the show yet, being employed, being paid money, not health benefits. John Oliver told us that, but travel, all of that encompassing in what a WWE superstar does. And then we have, wrestlers leaving. We have wrestlers on the show that, when the hell have we seen Tyler Breeze yet? Didn't he just move to a different show? Like, it's insignificant. It's irrelevant. And I feel like, yes, as part of the superstar shakeup, Cedric Alexander is not going to, it's like a piss heard in the wind. Won't even see it coming.
Yeah, but these guys are also insignificant and irrelevant. You talk about guys like Tyler Breeze and Luke Harper. Like, okay, is he going to set the world on fire if he leaves the company? I mean, what is so great? Give me what is so great about Luke Harper, because a minority on social media have talked about just what a huge, devastating loss it was for WWE if they let Luke Harper go. I must be missing that one, so definitely let me know.
I wasn't a gigantic fan of his. I liked his speed and his size, and I thought his look was good. With the Wyatt family specifically, I liked that stable. With Rowan, Harper, and Luke Harper, I thought it was good. As an act, I thought they entertained me. Obviously, Break and Talk on the mic, and Rowan and Harper were as heavy. I liked it. It was classic. That's when I was a fan of his, personally.
Okay, but that's not really saying much. You're talking about a stable, not him. I mean, what is it about him that was great? Like, did he have some great character? Did he, I just don't get, other than the indie crowd saying, oh, he was, a good in-ring worker. Who fucking cares?
He was a good in-ring worker. I liked his look. I liked the grungy look and just him. I liked his presence. Me personally. Do I think he was a main event champion? Absolutely not. Did I think he was a good mid-card worker? Yes, I do. I did. But
he's boring.
Do I think he'll be like the next Cody Rhodes on the indie scene to like actually make like a half ounce of an impact? No.
Of course not. Hey, but he is friends with Chris Jericho. He is well liked.
Harper? Oh, apparently he's a great guy. I don't know. I've never met him.
Yeah, and Jericho's a little salty about WWE lately, and maybe he's doing a little recruiting on the down low.
Do you think that is the case?
Well, no. I'm not going to say for sure it is. I just have a sneaking suspicion there's some conversations going on. I'll just leave it at that.
Okay, I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, we've seen a lot of wrestlers go in the past little bit. Do you foresee? I'm not asking you what you've heard or anything. Like, do you personally think that the annual spring cleaning is on the horizon? This is just the beginning of it.
I hope so. I mean, I don't want to see anybody ever lose their job, but at the same time, man, the roster is bloated. It's too big, and that is actually a big part of the problem, right? They just have too many guys. They can't use them. I mean, when's the last time you saw Sin Cara?
The armbar at Mania. But before that, I don't know when.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that's the point. Like, they have so many guys, and some of these people, like Sin Cara, are talented.
Yeah.
But they just can't use them all. It's just, that's just the unfortunate reality of having so many guys signed to the roster.
Mm-hmm. So let's get into that. So here, we'll start with Raw. These are all the people that went to Raw. You tell me the last time for a few of them you actually saw them do fucking anything. AJ Styles and The Miz. So the bigger guys are, it goes without saying. They're on the show every single week. AJ Styles headlines the SmackDown jump to Raw with The Miz, Ricochet, and Aleister Black. The Viking. I can't believe I'm going with that. The Viking Experience is going to be there. Andrade and Zelina Vega, who you're high on, by the way.
Well, Zelina. I think she's the star of the show of the two between, Andrade is fine. I just think Zelina Vega is the star of the two.
How tall is Andrade? Bigger than Finn, bigger than Apollo Crews. He's not a bad size for, being presented in a shorter fashion.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, obviously Apollo's short, and Finn is not very tall either, so that's kind of a low bar, no pun intended.
Wikipedia has him at 5'9".
Mm-hmm.
That might be accurate.
It could be
5'9", 210. I believe like 200.
Well, I don't think 210 is accurate, obviously, but yeah, he's around 5'9", I would say.
Yeah. I mean, I think he's going to get a big push now. Charlotte's behind him and in front of him, literally.
Yeah, in outside of the show, and yeah.
And on Instagram. Go to Andrade's Instagram, everyone. So Andrade and Zelina Vega, Rey Mysterio, fucking bite me. The Usos, what? You love Rey Mysterio?
I just want to talk about. I think that's the elephant in the room here, and I don't know. Elephants are very large, so I don't know if that's the right example. But
the mouse in the room.
The mouse in the room here is your irrational hate for Rey Mysterio Jr.
Sucks. Horrible. Garbage. Terrible. Horrible.
What do you like about him?
Nothing. I don't like anything about him. You know what? Yes, I do. He makes kids smile. Great. Good.
There you go.
Good. The world needs circus clowns like Rey Mysterio. Okay. Maybe Kevin Nash can lawn dart him across a football field instead of just a car window. That's Dean's favorite moment of WCW ever.
Brutal. I'm sure it is. I do definitely believe that.
The Usos making the jump alongside the wife of said Uso brother Naomi going. Predictions for the Usos on Raw. Champs soon.
Yeah, the Usos to me would be a better fit on SmackDown Live. Just because SmackDown, obviously being the A show when it goes to Fox, the Usos are the greatest tag team of this generation, in my opinion. And they have the type of look and work that I think, you would want on your A show.
Yeah. And so who are the Raw Tag Champs now? Isn't it sad I forget? Oh, yeah, Ryder and Hawkins. I hope they lose those soon. Lacey Evans, who made a gigantic impact, beating Natalya in her debut match. Eric Young. See, this is the bottom two, right? Eric Young and Cedric Alexander and EC3. Those last 3 out of 4. When the hell have they done anything on this show in the last year? Seriously. And we're expected to care that they moved shows.
Well, I don't know about those other guys, but Lacey Evans, she did the nice little flippity do. She had the match and won.
It's a good moonsault. It's a nice moonsault.
It was a nice moonsault, and her butt cheeks were falling out of her tights.
Who cares?
And I just thought to myself, that's a woman's evolution I can get behind.
Lacey Evans is a looker, and she's athletic. The promo itself, what do you think of the promo? It's not bad, right?
It's not bad. It's not like, Johnny Gargano bad.
Oh, no.
It's all right.
Man. I don't know. Why does he listen to the show?
We'll get into that.
Yeah. But yeah, EC3, Eric Young, and Cedric Alexander. I love EC3, but he's not going to get a chance. Eric Young, great, good, cool. He hasn't been on TV in a year. And Cedric Alexander, they want to try to make another Ali, which means someone's hot for 2 weeks, and then forget about him. I mean, I'm serious. How many things did Ali was popular for a couple of weeks? Seriously. And then someone botched and punched his nose and broke it. And then Kofi stole the spotlight. And then Ali was a forgotten son.
Yeah. Certainly you don't want to see anybody get hurt, but boy, are we happy that that changed the course of events, because the last thing we need is Ali in a main event.
Yeah. So the move to SmackDown from Monday Night Raw, I'm going to go from the bottom up, and you tell me the last time any of these people did anything relevant. Are you ready? Good. Mickie James.
Who? I don't know. Who's Mickey?
Apollo Crews.
I remember him doing the bowling ball to Sasha. That's the last thing I remember from him.
Maybe that's why she wants to quit.
Maybe, yeah. You got a good point.
Chad Gable, who, in all respect, I think is entertaining, but I'm one of the only few apparently.
Yeah.
Liv Morgan.
Who cares?
Riot Squad, but she's phased out. Buddy Murphy. Not 205 live. he ain't 205. I know that.
Yeah.
Do you think they're going to use him at all on Raw? Seriously?
They might as well. Like, if they're going to use guys, and not that they're on Raw, but guys like Andrade, guys like Finn Balor, etc. Why the hell can't they use Buddy Murphy?
True. He's bigger than both of them.
Right.
I mean, he is dating Alexa Bliss in real life. She could be a really good manager and wrestle at the same time. I don't know. They were a tandem in NXT. So, I mean, anything can be done. Lars Sullivan. And before you get into what you think about Lars Sullivan, I do want to say that I feel like it's vindicating that I finally know who's on each show by going to their fucking website. And not actually find out on the show. Anyway, so Lars Sullivan, thoughts? He's going to end up hurting his brain, but thoughts?
My thoughts are he sucks.
Yeah.
I'm not interested in him at all. Yes, he is the ugly, dastardly, big and strong throwback heel. I just don't find him entertaining or good, and frankly, all I can think about is is this guy going to have an anxiety attack one day in the middle of a live show?
Yeah. Oh, and here's your favorite, Kairi Sane, the Pirate Princess. I'm excited. I know you're not, but I'm excited. But if there's any clarity in all of this, she's not going to have to talk. I feel like that should be the underlying good thing about Kairi Sane.
WWE has listened. Finally, Asuka does not have to speak English because nobody can understand her. So I think this was the right move, even though Paige is an odd pairing with them.
She can talk.
It's random. She can talk really well. So absolutely, it gives them a mouthpiece. They realize Asuka can't talk worth a damn. And they probably realize the pirate, she sucks at cutting a promo as well. So
yeah,
I like it.
Her English is better than Asuka's. I know you're gonna say that's not very hard to do. It's not, but her English is better. And Ember Moon, who I see as like because Bailey's gonna be irrelevant very soon, and I see Ember Moon in that Bailey role, like white meat babyface. She can wrestle. Her promos lackluster, but people love wrestling, so yeah. Ember Moon's there. She's athletic. She can do a nice stunner off the top of the rope.
Yeah, good luck with those back problems in 10 years.
Yeah, that's gonna be really hard for her. Bailey moving to SmackDown. Oh man, that Snoop Dogg cousin sized elephant. We keep using that metaphor. We shouldn't anymore. Bailey's on SmackDown, but where's Sasha? We'll get to that. Elias moving to SmackDown. Thoughts?
I think it's the right move. Again, you talk about the A show going to Fox.
Yep.
And someone like Elias, that's exactly where he belongs. He's entertaining. He cuts a great promo. He's got a great look. This is absolutely the type of wrestler you want on the show when casual and sports fans are flipping the channel.
Yeah. Finn Balor. And I know he's not your favorite wrestler, but the guy has popularity, and clearly they want him on the A show.
Yeah, I don't get that one at all.
And the big dog, Roman Reigns. We called that from a mile away 6 months ago.
Yeah, I mean, again, obviously Roman Reigns, the true face of the company, not Becky Lynch. It makes sense to have him on the A show, SmackDown Live, going into Fox. He's got the appeal. He's the face of the company, and I absolutely expected the big doggo to be on SmackDown Live.
Yeah, we called that. So that kind of leaves. So who's? What's going to happen for SmackDown? You're going to have the big dog. He's going to beat Daniel Bryan and ruin that. Or I'm sorry, he'll beat Kofi Kingston rather, and ruin that honeymoon, I think. But as far as Raw goes, we're going to see a nice old feud between AJ Styles and Seth Rollins. Can you wait for it?
Yeah, I mean, whatever.
But it's gonna be amazing in-ring technique.
That's great. Thanks for letting me know, Dave.
How many stars are you going to give their match?
I don't do stars. That bullshit is stupid.
But Johnny Gargano and Adam Cole got 5.5 stars.
Yeah. Dave gave them 5.5 stars. I gave them 0 stars, and my opinion is worth just as much as Dave's and anybody else's listening. So, who really cares?
But yeah, a few of the things that I kind of put together after watching Raw and looking at SmackDown results here on the internet as I yawn on a late Tuesday night. The Miz and Shane McMahon are done. Thank Christ for everyone. We don't need to see that train wreck anymore. The Shield is officially split up, and for who knows how long. Maybe it's for the better, as Seth and Roman are splitskis. And I mean, the New Day are staying on SmackDown, which is great. Clearly, they like that nice PR, especially when Big E comes back. Any other highlights from the shakeup that caught your eye? I think Brad's trying to find out how long it'll take for Baron Corbin to get a title shot.
Well, that's actually going to happen pretty quickly.
Not against Seth Rollins. No, it will not.
Well, it should. Well, all right, that's another topic. I liked Sami Zayn's.
I wasn't going to bring it up. I wanted to see if you'd bring it up first.
Yeah. So Sami Zayn cut another great promo. He turned. I've got to say, he turned babyface for me.
Yeah.
And I may be able to overlook. I'm not 100% sure, but I may even be able to overlook the fact that he looks like a manager at Tim Hortons.
So why that's culturally accurate. Why? Why now? What did he do? Because I thought that you didn't mind his white meat babyface underdog gimmick, for lack of a better word.
It's absolutely played out. Sami Zayn is a natural heel. That's what he is best at. And letting him do something like this, write his own promos and tell it like it is, I absolutely love it. And, you know, every good heel, in what they cut in a promo, it has some level of truth behind it. And they have to believe it. And I really feel like, yes, there's truth behind it. And he believes it. And so it works really nicely for me.
I have never seen any segment like that before, where he was just proving a point about his hometown crowd. He's from Montreal. The hometown crowd popping and singing his music along with him, so they play it 2 more times. I thought it was fabulous.
Yeah, it was fantastic. It was great. And he played them like a fiddle.
He said fish in a barrel.
Like shooting fish in a barrel. Absolutely.
Yeah. Where now, does this lead to anything like demonstrative? Do we see a Sami Zayn championship? Or is it just...
Yeah, fuck it. Put the title on him right now. Put the title on him right now and let him cut a promo every week, just totally degrading these smart fans. I love it.
Is that the victim in his promos? Is it the smart fans? Or is it just the fans in general? I mean, we can always read between the lines, but
I don't think Betty Sue and her daughter coming to the show to mark out for... Well, not to mark out for Sasha anymore. To mark out for, not Bailey. She's boring. Charlotte, to mark out for a real champion, Charlotte Flair. Yeah, I don't think they're, they're coming for that.
That's fabulous. That's fabulous. No, I've been a Sami Zayn mark for years. Thank God he's entertaining. I love it so much. Now, what does that mean for his cohort, Kevin Owens?
Kevin Owens, who really cares?
Different strokes for different folks.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's great. Oh, you know who else just put their release in? Alexander Wolf, 1/3 of Sanity.
Who?
Hey, where's Nikki Cross?
More like, who cares? I mean, Alexander Wolf puts in his notice. Wow. He's really going to fucking burn it up on the Indies, let me tell you.
Why is there... Do you think... Because we're going to get into two pretty, I'd say airport appeal topics shortly. Was the roster this big back in the late 90s, early 2000s?
No, not including NXT, etc. No, it's not.
Why is it so big right now?
Well, I mean, you could look at... I think there's definitely a factor of, they want to be the monopoly, and so they sign as many people as they can. If it's a top talent, they want to sign them. They want them to be a part of WWE and then use them at their convenience.
Aren't monopolies illegal?
Well, I don't know. I usually win a monopoly, I never go to jail.
Monopoly is luck, right? The whole game is luck.
I don't know.
It's literally all luck. If you roll dice, it's luck. Period. End of story. I never win a Monopoly, but I always have more capital. But regardless of if I have more capital or not, I land on fucking jail and luxury tax every goddamn time. Luck. I'm sure you cheat at Monopoly, but that's fine.
Oh, absolutely.
Sneaking hundreds.
Sneaking hundreds, hide them under the board, hide them in my pocket. Absolutely.
You know who? Oh, what's a good segue? I can't think of one. All right, so Bradley has prepared 2 things for all of you this evening, and Dean, and I haven't prepared anything because I just talk. Dean and Brad have 2 and 3 total special things for you. one of them's a two-parter. The other one is just standalone, talking about Johnny Gargano. And I was told not to interrupt, so I'm going to sit back and maybe do a few shots or two. Not really. And let the tall guy take the floor.
Johnny Gargano is the perfect example of a pro wrestler today. I talked about this on Twitter and said I would discuss it on the show. So why is Johnny Gargano the perfect example of a pro wrestler today, you may ask? Well, he's wrestled for years on the independent circuit. He can put on a match with good athletic moves, but he can't cut a promo, doesn't have a character, and doesn't have a single ounce of charisma. He's undersized. He seeks validation of his work on social media, and he would blend into a crowd of ordinary people. On our last episode of the Oh You Didn't Know Wrestling Show, I spoke about Johnny Gargano in WWE. I called him undersized. I said he didn't have airport appeal, and essentially said he didn't have it. As we record this on Tuesday, Johnny, who has blocked me on Twitter, made an Instagram post with a picture of him receiving an award for the 2018 Match of the Year from Triple H. And the comment said, undersized, doesn't have it, won't stick out in an airport. You can harp on the negatives, but this is why you don't let others define you. If you want something, go get it. Plus, I like blending in at airports. Well, Johnny, I'm here to tell you that nobody is defining you. You're defining yourself. You can't cut a promo. You have no charisma. You vanity search your name on social media. You seek the approval of Dave Meltzer to determine if you've had a good match. Maybe you like blending in at airports because you have no choice. You went to Disney World with your NXT Championship belt and nobody cared. You look like everybody else except smaller. Do you know who's never blended in at an airport? Better yet, do you know who's never blended in at Disney World? Hulk Hogan, Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, Andre the Giant, China, Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns. John, what are your thoughts?
Oh, that was it. Okay. Okay. I will start by saying this. Wrestling is a subjective art form, whether anyone likes it or not. Everyone's allowed to have an opinion. Everyone is... Oh, I just pulled a Bailey in a WWE Supercard game. That's boring. Bailey, boring. It's a B. No, it's wrestling's subjective art form, okay? I'm a fan of Johnny's. I'm a fan of his wife's. No, the tandem, they're never going to be... I mean, I shouldn't say never, because that's an absolute. They probably won't ever be, like, women's champ and main event champ, WWE, whatever, WWE champ, universal title holder, ever. But do I like their work? Yeah, they entertain me. They make me laugh. They love Disney. I love Disney. So interests are there that are shared, but no, he doesn't have. I mean, if the quote unquote airport appeal ordeal, no, it's not there. I mean, there are so many less people watching wrestling than ever used to watch wrestling that not 10% of them might have airport appeal anymore. 10% of them might be stopped at Disney World because it's just not popular, anymore in its own right. Am I excusing that? No, of course not. But I'm realistic.
Well, and to your point, I would have to ask: is it ever going to be that popular again with Johnny Gargano as your champion?
I don't think it's just him. It will never be as popular ever again. It just won't. And not everything is always as popular as it used to be, and that's not a terrible thing. But no, Johnny Gargano is not the answer to their prayers, to their 3.8 Nielsen ratings. just isn't going to happen. Now, does he have fans? Obviously. Does he, does he have good in-ring work? Yes, of course he does. But no, his promos aren't that great. He was actually more entertaining. I watch NXT pretty regularly. He was more entertaining as a heel. I liked it. Thought it was different. It's what Brad said. Is his opinion. That's cool. That's great. No, he's not Stone Cold. He's not the best thing on the planet. He's not. Sorry.
But John, you talk about ratings, and they're in the tank, but ratings don't matter, they said. Everybody's streaming now, they said. Meanwhile, Game of Thrones set a record of 17.4 million viewers on Sunday night.
It did, but okay, there's a caveat. That's not on regular television. That's specialized programming. Still a different thing. You have to pay more money for HBO. Now, if that were on TBS or CBS or NBC, ABC, whatever's in like an average television package, that would be so impressive I could throw up.
It's even more impressive being on HBO. You have to pay money just to watch this show, and 17.4 million people went out of their way to do that.
If you want to look at it like that, then absolutely, yes, that's even more impressive. It is. Wrestling used to get ratings in the 5s. Now it's in the 2s, sometimes the 1s. And that's a 20-year difference. What does that tell you?
Well, what it tells me is people like boring Becky Lynch are killing the crowds. Yeah, they get the cheap pop when they talk about what they've done for the evolution of women in WWE. That's the cheap pop. That's the Mick Foley saying right here in Miami, Florida. Yeah. Okay, that's the cheap pop. And they have to keep using that to save these segments from being a disaster. And the support continues to wane. 18 hours after posting the YouTube videos for Raw, the Becky Lynch versus Ruby Riott video had 358,000 views. So to put that into context, the main event 6-man tag had 861,000 views. And the corny Bray Wyatt vignette with the buzzard had 442,000 views, significantly more than Becky Lynch.
The ratings, it's not just her. I mean, the ratings have been going down for years as a steady decline because just people aren't watching wrestling like they used to watch wrestling. End of story.
It's not cool. It's not pop culture. It's not a well-written show for a casual audience. Of course they're not watching.
Yeah.
They're not going to watch a show written like this.
No, they won't. They and if someone tries to argue that, they're wrong. Period. And I'll say this much. And this kind of leads into our next topic, sort of. If people gave a fuck about 5-star matches, and yeah, I like a good match myself, but if that was the case and that was the main driver in what pro wrestling is, then why isn't PWG or Ring of Honor or New Japan, like, why aren't they pulling 6s and 7s, and why aren't they on television nationally if that was so popular? It's just not anymore.
A TV show of fake fights caters to a niche audience. TV is entertainment. You need characters. You need stories. And when you don't have that, you're going to cater to a niche audience.
Why? Yes.
This isn't rocket science.
Why? Now, riddle me this. Why was wrestling so hot in the late 90s? Sure, it was a cultural thing. But I don't know, Brad, you were like in your maybe teens, 20s. What clued you in? Was it the storytelling? Was it like outlandish characters? Like what was it Mankind versus Kane having a 5-star 2 out of 3 falls match?
It was relevant to pop culture and mainstream society. Stone Cold Steve Austin beating up his boss and giving him the middle finger, it was very relevant to mainstream pop culture.
Yeah.
That's what you have to have, okay? It was entertaining. It wasn't just about a bunch of good 5-star fake fights. There were a lot of characters, wacky, crazy, funny, entertaining. It really expanded the range.
Yeah.
And so there was a lot of good characters. There were some really good stories as well, and a lot of unpredictable moments. It was compelling TV. It wasn't a wrestling show. It was a TV show about wrestling. And I'm not going to just, sit there and eat shit for 3 hours and watch match after match after match where there's no story involved.
Yeah.
Again, that caters to a niche audience who's going to watch regardless.
And I think it's cool to have good matches. From
Absolutely. I like good matches. I do. I would prefer to have a great match as opposed to a bad match. But at the same time, all I need is a passable match. What I need is characters and stories above all.
Yeah. Yeah. And hopefully we get that. So, going into our last topic of the evening, there has been a lot of, how should I say, like tension around the WWE universe, and no one knows tension more, or rather better, than Dean. I am Petro, our Dean, the Dean that doesn't quit too soon, maybe. He didn't quit. He was actually responsible about it. Unlike one of the WWE superstars that we all know and disrespect. And her name is Sasha Banks, or maybe soon to be named something else because all lawsuits. This is where the two-parter comes into play, everybody. So Dean, who is right now sleeping, getting ready for his nightly walk. He started walking to Denny's. Do you know that?
Well, I think his doctor had they had suggested that because of his high blood pressure.
Ah,
yeah. So this was to get him into better shape and hopefully lower his blood pressure. And it doesn't help, like, the walk to Denny's. He's actually going to Denny's to eat a bunch of salty food. So it raises his blood pressure, and then he walks back to lower it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Because when you eat a Grand Slam, you need to walk about a Grand Slam's worth.
Exactly.
That doesn't make any sense. Okay. Neither does most of what we watch on Monday and Tuesday nights. So Dean is going to be talking about Sasha Banks, and then Brad will follow up with his analysis, because I agree with Dean mostly all the time, and get into his own little diatribe. Stand by.
And welcome to the Elbow Experience, freshly named
Get it?
in the spirit of WWE. The Elbow Experience. Now, Brad, I was checking things out about you on Wikipedia. Wikipedia has you listed as 6'2" and driving a minivan.
Fake news.
And Fisher, it has you listed as 5'11".
Oh!
But that's impossible because I tower over you, both literally and figuratively. Now to today's Elbow Experience. Sasha Banks, the illegitimate boss. Really? Back in the beginnings of the Attitude Era, Shawn Michaels lost his smile and relinquished the championship. And the rumor was because he didn't want to do the job to Bret Hart. Bret Hart didn't want to lose the belt in Canada. in front of his fans on the way out of WWE. It's not real. You didn't win it. Sasha, you're the first tag team women's champion along with Bayley.
Hey,
It's not real. You didn't win a real fight.
after this, I do have two more things.
Decided to
Okay.
make you the
A
champion.
Brock Lesnar thing, and then I just want to mention something about
Cry on the floor
a
and
recap from the WrestleMania match.
WWE and put out
Okay.
cryptic tweets all because you lost a fake
You can just
fight?
you can just go as soon as he's done.
Sasha, first of all, rehone your craft. Get back to training with somebody who knows what they're doing, because you have botches in every single match and you are not anything like you were in NXT. You have become complacent, and that is why Ronda Rousey surpassed you, and Charlotte Flair surpassed you, and Becky Lynch surpassed you, and now the Iconics have the tag team championships. You want to leave, Sasha? I don't know that we'll miss you. Go to AEW. I wish you well. I hope you recover from this. I hope that you see that what you're doing is absolutely wrong for the business, and that you find your footing somewhere else. But your time in WWE is done. That's the Elbow Experience.
Elbow Experience. Get it?
So the Sasha situation is interesting and continues to evolve. So I thought it was best to talk about it on our show rather than attempt to tweet out pieces of what's really an entire puzzle. Someone in WWE told me that Sasha is a great example of somebody who has made a huge star in NXT, winning the NXT Women's Championship, who came up expecting to be treated like a top draw, and who was for some time. She won the Raw Women's Championship 4 times. And then she was leapfrogged by other women. And she's not happy about it. That's what happens to a lot of NXT talent. See Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Finn Balor, Shinsuke Nakamura, and on and on and on. These guys come up red hot, getting big pops in small shows in Florida, and then they ultimately get lost in the shuffle, hit the ceiling, and then are unpleasantly surprised by it. Two different sources in the company both had different opinions on her attitude, but the one unifying message is clear. She did not want to drop the tag team titles at WrestleMania. One source defended her, asking if it's really a bad thing to want to be a champion and not drop the titles to a couple of women who've paid zero dues and can't work. Maybe we need a little more of that going on, they said. A second source called her actions really childish and accused her of being a mark who is not able to see the bigger picture. I was told she has to be kept separate from Alexa Bliss for the time being as well. At the time, I was also told she was threatening to walk out at any given moment, and most of the women in the locker room at that time believed she was bluffing. Vince McMahon told those working as a catalyst between the two that while they love and appreciate Sasha, no one is going to kiss her ass. She was promised, however, that things will get better. Apparently, she's influenced Bayley to act like this as well, which indicates it's a bad situation. And I have to defend Ryan Satin. Yes, that actually was not a mistake. I do have to defend Ryan Satin. And I'll admit, his report sounded absurd, and I had some lighthearted fun busting his balls about it on Twitter. So I asked a source in the company if his report was correct about Sasha and Bayley laying on the floor of the locker room on Sunday, and then back at the hotel in front of one of their rooms, loudly complaining and unhappy about losing the tag team titles. And I was told, quote unquote, 100% accurate. Vince made it clear on Monday, again, there will be no kissing her ass. They are not going to screw over the Iconics so quickly just so that Sasha gets her way. Last week, I reported that she wasn't coming in the next week, and she didn't. She's been given some time to think about what she wants to do. Corey Graves remarked on commentary that Sasha Banks has taken her ball and quit. That was a line fed to him by Vince McMahon himself. John, your thoughts?
I mean, it was kind of everything I expected when you get into this era of self-entitlement. That's what's going to happen. And I don't think it's any part of what NXT is supposed to be teaching you how to do your job. It's training ground. It's something that is like, it's special while you're there, but once you leave, it's in the rearview mirror. Like tonight, I was at a going away party for a former colleague that where I worked with in college. I kicked ass in college, dominated everything, much to everyone's surprise. And
what happened?
What's that? What happened? You're right. You're right. And this individual helped make that happen. But I kick ass in college, but your merits get you to where you go next. But at that point, it's rearview mirror. It's history, right? Just walking through the hallways, history. That's all it is anymore. So where Sasha thinks she deserves, first of all, no one deserves anything. You do work for it. Do you think The Miz ever sat in a hotel room and cried like a bitch because he didn't get to keep his Intercontinental title for the 8th time? He doesn't give a fuck. Sure, he loves the sport, but he does it to make money. He does it to catapult him to other opportunities like a TV show, like acting, like spots such as those. And he knows it's a fucking fake fight. Who cares? You're there to do your job. Sasha's a baby. Bayley's a baby. And if I'm Cody Rhodes, and I'm sure he pays attention to this show because who doesn't? But if I'm Cody, I don't look at their fucking face for more than 8 seconds and realize I don't want those immature shits on my show. Sorry. That's how I feel.
I thought it was very interesting, kind of changing directions to Becky Lynch. She had her promo. She came out on SmackDown, and they showed a recap of her pinning Ronda Rousey. Mm-hmm. And the recap very clearly showed Ronda Rousey with her shoulders down. It was a still picture of Ronda with her shoulders down being pinned, along with the noise of the 3 count. So, of course, I had originally reported that it was a botch and that was supposed to be the finish, but Ronda's shoulders were supposed to be down. And now what we're actually seeing on TV is they recap it and talk about it. They're showing images only of where Ronda's shoulders are down. Mm-hmm. There's no controversy. There was no planned controversy. It was a botch. Ronda's shoulders were supposed to be down, just as I reported. Mm-hmm. 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 And finally, Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, him.
So Brock was dropping the title. Okay, and that was the plan for at least a week in advance, if not more. Seth's going to be keeping the Beast Slayer moniker for a while, I'm told.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Wait, was that your news?
I don't know. It was kind of news. I mean, yeah, obviously the Brock match was changed from a semi-main to the first match of the main card.
Yeah.
And there was some talk, etc. But the bottom line is they both knew the finish at least a week in advance. So it had nothing to do with like Brock getting there and then learning he was going to lose and then wanting to just leave. He knew that already at least a week in advance. Yeah.
Do you think Brock was crying outside of his? Well, he doesn't sleep in the hotels. Was he crying outside of his wherever the fuck he lives home? Because he was dropping the title. You think he was crying like a baby?
I think Brock took the first flight home.
Yeah.
Killed a couple of cows with his bare hands and cooked steaks.
Do you think Brock gives a shit about if he's the champion or not?
Absolutely not.
What does Brock Lesnar care about?
He cares about getting paid. That's
Yeah.
what he cares about.
Oh, gosh.
It's amazing. It's a job. You want to show up to get paid. It's, one of those amazing things.
But people on Twitter were telling me, but Sasha didn't deserve to lose her title. She just got it.
Did you tell him she doesn't actually lose the title?
I'm
not actually losing a match.
I forget what I said. I really do, but I'm just like, I don't understand. I really don't. It's one thing, like, if you're going for a promotion at work and you get that promotion, that's tangible. And then it turns into other things. But if I'm given a fake promotion in a fake scenario in like a business meeting that's also fake, does it fucking matter? Or is it just nothing? I don't know. Certainly enough. I mean, Sami Zayn needs to. Oh God, do you think Sami Zayn would turn into your second favorite wrestler of all time if he cut a promo next week on Sasha Banks and Bayley?
Second favorite of all time? No. Top 5? Maybe there's potential there. If he totally buries her, there could be definite potential there. If he, maybe just buries the whole women's division. Talks about the women's evolution and how they can't put on a good match, but nobody cares because we're proud of the women getting an opportunity. So that would be a great promo.
How was that? How was that Natalya promo? What'd you think of that?
It was forgettable.
Yeah, about it. I barely remember what she talked about. To be honest with you. Before we go, I guess we can have some fun. We're going to go to the WWE YouTube page and take a look at who's been watching what. Join on the fun, shall we? Go and watch along and compare and contrast how many views they've gotten since. Don't, really. It's not that important.
I was going to say, what are you talking about? Who cares?
I want to see what's trending. The Miz getting payback at WrestleMania has 1 million views right now. And that is the most viewed clip on Raw for Raw YouTube, believe it or not. The 6-man tag is close second. You know what the least is? Let's see here. Are we talking main seg? If we're talking main seg in the show, I'm taking a look. Ryder Hawkins in black and the Ricochet and Alistair versus the Revival and Company. 325K. Usos and Rude and Gable, 301. And Bayley and Naomi versus the Iconics, 275. Yeah, that's the lowest one.
I'm shocked. Wow. I totally never would have guessed that, John.
And then a backstage where Bayley is welcoming Naomi to Raw, 92,000. So people really care. On to SmackDown. Granted, it's only been out for about 2 hours. Normally, you can kind of get like a grip on what's going to be, an elongated success on YouTube. Let's see. Owens talking with Owens and the New Day, 70,000. Not so bad. In the main, where's the main? Roman Reigns decking Mr. McMahon, 59,000. Again, you can kind of see the trending upward. And let's see, and we'll end on what segment fans didn't give a shit about. I'm looking. Only Lars Sullivan destroying R-Truth, 20,000. And to make Brad laugh, Bailey backstage interview, 4,000.
She may be a hugger, but it sounds like she needs a hug after hearing that.
When people want to watch a doll ride a horse, like a pommel horse, instead of an actual wrestler, then you know it's bad.
Yeah, that's true.
Wow. What do you think? The reaction last week we had our most. Is that our most ever? Our most views, listens, I should say. We had 620 listens on SoundCloud last week. That's fantastic. That is the most ever. Last week's episode.
Shout out to SoundCloud listeners.
Second to episode 16 at 651. But yeah, thanks y'all. That's pretty cool. I haven't been able to look at iTunes because I don't have an iPhone anymore, but I only assume good things.
Obviously, I mean, most people listen on the iPhone or Droid, but you betrayed us, and we talked about this. You know, I'm an Apple guy.
You are,
and you actually, I mean, you were Johnny Apple, Appleseed. Yeah,
I was,
and now you're Johnny Droid.
Well, that's not so. I have a Samsung Galaxy S10 Plus. And I use my PC as my main computer. Windows, I built the whole thing myself. But I still use my MacBook and my iPad. Nothing will ever beat Apple laptops or Apple tablets to me. So I'm a mix.
Okay, you're a mix. Okay,
I'm allowed to dabble.
Well, you're kind of in or out the family. Like there's no real kind of like dabbling here. You're like Apple for life, or you're not.
Listen, I used to work at Apple.
Like, I can do it. NWO.
I can do whatever I want. I used to work at Apple.
It's for life.
The rules don't apply for me. And you know, right now, everyone, and we'll get into our goodbyes here in a second. If you want to give us a 5-star review, go for it. iTunes, SoundCloud, anywhere you want. Seeing as we got rid of all the trolls, we've only had one non 5-star review since last November, and I think we know why.
Just maybe. But in all seriousness, the people who aren't trolls are rating our show very highly, 5 stars.
Yeah.
And, we love you guys. We totally appreciate it. We do this for you.
Yeah.
We certainly don't do it for any other reason. So we appreciate your support. We appreciate you subscribing and rating us 5 stars.
Yeah, for sure. So anyway, where can we kind of already said it, but where can we find you on the internet?
On Twitter at the Brad Shepard, SHEPARD. And of course, you can follow all of my work on ProSportsExtra.com. I've got an article on the ovarian, the top battle royal.
Oh,
yeah, the women's bathroom battle royal. That was a popular one.
Oh,
I've got a lot of sports stuff. So yeah, if you're into sports, check it out. And I'm going to be doing some wrestling as well. And it's by popular demand, 100%. So thank you for your support. That is working out really well. Check out my Twitter if you want to hear my appearance on ESPN Radio. Had a really great time there, as always, appearing for them.
And you can get me at John Fisher TV on Twitter. Again, iTunes, SoundCloud, the whole 9, Google Play. Find us on there. Let us know what you think. Tweet at us, and we'll chat. Anything else before we go?
That's it. See you next week.
Oh man, that's a first. Yeah, we'll see you all next week. And the best part is Brad didn't tell me to play his breaking news music. I'll see you all later.